Mi gente, what's up, everybody? Hey, y'all. I literally was having like the butterflies in my stomach as the countdown. Hey, Monica. I was having butterflies literally as the countdown was happening because it has been a minute since I've hosted pretty much anything. But the butterflies from when I used to host Soul at Home with Solatry, which is now a program of Power Street, brings back a lot of great memories and a few of these artists here tonight. I had the privilege of meeting through that process through the pandemic of Soul at Home and being innovative of ways of how to connect artists and amplify artists at a time of crisis. And here we are, 10 years celebrating Power Street's work and also what's to come, as we'll hear from Robi later on tonight, a beautiful song from an upcoming musical that we're really excited about. I should introduce myself and say my name is Gabi Sanchez, and I am one of the co-founders of Power Street Theater, and also just cultural producer, arts lover, and a fan of each individual here tonight. Tonight's going to be a very special night, y'all. I literally am a fangirl of each one of these artists. They are outstanding in what they do within their art form, but also as human beings outside of the existence of art, right? Because who are we outside of our art is something I always want to interrogate too. And these human beings here tonight are just truly a gift to the world. So happy birthday, Power Street. What a great group of folks. Yes. Hey, y'all. So I just want to go around real quick and do an introduction with each one of you all, and then we'll kind of launch off the night with Alyson. But to start off, if you can introduce yourself and say, why does art matter? Like, why does art matter to you? Yeah. So if Anjoli, you cool with starting off?
Yep, I got you. I'm Anjoli Santiago, and I'll be reading some original poetry today. But art matters to me because I feel like the access to the arts isn't where it needs to be, and artists are the ones who are going to move it there. And the reason why it's important is because the imagination is the soul to the world, and we don't give ourselves enough permission as we grow older to play and to live in imagination. And the arts is that expressive creativity, and everyone and anyone can be an artist, whether or not you get promoted or you just do it for your cat and your fish at home. That's totally cool too. So thank you guys for signing in. I'm excited to share space with everyone here.
Thank you, Anjali. Definitely, right? I am also just want to echo or amplify that statement that like anyone can be an artist. I do think there's something special though about like when you claim that you're an artist, right? I do think that there's a shift that happens that you like anyone can practice art and experience art and enjoy art for what it is. But there is a moment I think as artists when we claim the word artist or songwriter or a musician or a poet, like that switch that feels so special, or at least for me, I think. But yes, the power of the arts, it should be accessible to everyone, is what I hear. How about RK?
Hello, guys. It's RK, also known as Self Poet, and art is expression. I feel like that's the reason why I started poetry. And art is basically a form to let out even the deepest, darkest, emotions, things that are burdened inside you. I feel like it's an outlet, definitely a way that you can release and let go. So I feel like that's a very, very crucial part about art.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you. Who else in here? If you could give me some snaps, like have used art to release. Yeah. Snaps, claps, all of it. Yes. How about you, Alyson?
Hello, everybody. My name is Alyson. I am a singer, songwriter, and a host, actor, something or other, podcaster. Got to do a lot of fun stuff with Power Street this year. And I think art matters the most because it's something that's just so it's magical in that it's personal and universal at the same time. For us artists, it's something like we have to do. You can't get away from it. Like it's just like bubbling over in you. And then as a person that's like experiencing the art, you always get something. It's not your story, but it relates to you in some way. It says something that you yourself couldn't say. And so in that way, it's everybody's. It's mine, but it's yours. It's everyone else.
I love that. That like interpersonal exchange, or even like not even interpersonal, but that exchange of art and how it's a gift so often. Like sometimes I will read a poem or even read a book or watch a show or whatever it may be, or hear a podcast, and especially when it's relatable and I feel my experience in it, it's so moving, and sometimes also inspires me to be like, oh, maybe I'll try that, or I never thought about that, or like, right, like I think art also, like, that interrogation is always so beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Alyson. How about you, Robbie? What are your thoughts about art?
Oh my God, hello. I have so many things about what I think about art. Hi, everyone. I'm Robi. I'm a composer, actor, lyricist, all that sort of stuff. I think one of the coolest things about art for me is that it's very challenging, and it's a perfect like art to take a risk, and it's okay if you fall. It's like a great place to just learn and be in like a community and learn with other people. It's so nerve-wracking when like you have something you just came up with or and you want to show people, but it's such a nerve-wracking and experience to just share it, and then the moment as soon as you're done is the scariest moment. But it's always really great to just take that leap, take that risk, and go for it. And I think art is what really, I definitely did it for me. I'm so happy that I'm in that world.
Yes, take that risk. I think we could all, like, who in here has felt like they've taken a risk with their art? Show me like the snap hands, whatever emotion. Yeah, I do think that art forces us to be risky through that interrogation, I believe, and also just like by willing to use your imagination. Using your imagination is risky, man. My imagination was dangerous sometimes, or scary, like it wasn't always like unicorns, and who's to say unicorns weren't even scary to me as a kid? I'm like, what is this unicorn with like all, like, I would go crazy. Anyway, my brain. But the power of the art is that I think for me, it's liberating. It makes me feel more free. Recently, I went to Puerto Rico and I was at Poets Passage, and Jose encouraged me to do a poem. I hadn't read a poem probably since, I don't know how long, and it was a poem I've written for my daughter, but I had never shared it with him. I read it to my therapist one time, and that was it. I wrote at 5 a.m. in the morning, read it to her at like 6, but I had no time other in the day. So I had to wake up at 5:30. I was a procrastinator in that moment. And then revisited the poem when I was in Puerto Rico, and it was the first time I had performed in so long, and also like share something so vulnerable, and there was something so liberating about it. And I remember sweating and be like, Jose, let's leave. Let's skip out of here. Like, I'm trying to avoid, he's like, no, like, you should do this. And I remember experiencing it and doing it and almost being like, I want to do something again. Like, it's like that first, that feeling of like, I did it, and now I want to do it again because it's freeing and it's powerful. And there's something when you get those claps and the affirmation that you're not alone in whatever fight or whatever passion you're expressing. So, yeah, a little bit about me in that way, but enough about me. The one thing I would just want to say, last thing before we go into our incredible lineup of artists, is like, why are we here? Why are we having a virtual event? Well, it's Power Street's 10-year anniversary. I can't believe it. We're a whole decade. Yes, a whole decade, y'all. And have served thousands of audience members over the years. hundreds of artists, have had hundreds of collaborations. Like, it's just been really, really not a quiet, definitely not quiet because we Latinos, but quite a journey, I meant to say. And so it has been loud, vibrant, loving, hard, gritty, a whole lot of jawing, whatever that means for the Philly folks. But and a whole lot of like co-creation. And so with that, I call on you to not only support Power Street in our fundraiser for $10,000 in 10 days for 10 years, but that you also go out and support these artists here tonight by supporting either their podcast, their music, their book, their poetry, or just like showing them some love on this thread and affirming that their art matters here tonight. So yeah, make that donation, y'all, and support artists. And so we're now going to start with the first lineup of the evening. Our first featured artist, who is Alyson.
Hello.
Hey. So I just got to give you one shout out real quick. Because remember I said, I'm going to hype y'all up because I'm like a fangirl of you, like each one of you. And I love your podcast. I just had to do that plug. So can you just tell me a little bit about, like, you mentioned all the things you do, and I know we're going to hear your beautiful voice tonight, but can you just, with your work with Solatry, you have been doing Song for the Souls podcast, and you also have your own podcast that I would love for you to plug in.
Sure. So it all kind of came out of Songs for the Soul. I hadn't done too much hosting before, and Jose from Solatry really gave me that opportunity to step into that world and to start interviewing people and create this baby of ours, Songs for the Soul. And then I started thinking, there is another area that I would love to talk about that I feel like people don't really talk about, which is dating and relationships when you're a late bloomer, when you're a person who's just doing it kind of later in life. Not that there's any like time you should be doing it, but just those experiences that late bloomers have compared to other people who started sooner. So I started my own podcast, and it's been a labor of love, and it's been getting so much great reception, which is awesome because I'm like, I don't usually like to wear 30-year-old virgin on my forehead, but that is the name of the podcast, and it's just been such an amazing experience. And I can't say I would have done it without having that experience first of Songs for the Soul to like open that door. Like, yeah, anything's possible. If you think of it, do it.
Yes. I love that. And the one thing I love about you're such a great interviewer. I really, really enjoy listening to you and how you're in conversation with people. And I think how you make people feel, especially through your podcast, with 30-Year-Old Virgin, like how people feel comfortable enough to share their story, because oftentimes this is breaking stigma and it's also taboo, and it's also a space of learning when you, like, I mean, as a listener, that may have not been my experience, but I'm listening with care and like openness, and there's so much to learn in that. And that is what the power of storytelling is to me. That is what the power of theater is to me. That is the power of like archiving, right? Archiving our histories, our stories, so they don't go erased, right? And so yeah, I just wanted to give you a shout out because I love all things that you do. And now I can't wait to hear your voice tonight. So what you got in store for us?
Thank you. I'm going to just do 2 original songs. If anybody likes them, they are on all the streamies, the Spotify's, the Apple Musics and stuff. So yeah, and like I said, I'm just happy to be here. Y'all have opened so many doors for me. Like being part of the Power Street family has been incredible. I know y'all kind of adopted me from the Solatry umbrella, but you guys have really kind of given me a chance to like come into the community and be part of the things that you guys are doing. And so that's been really great. So y'all need money. Let's go get that money.
Listen, let's get that money for all the things that we want to do and continue to do. So without further ado, take it away.
Thank you. Like I mentioned, y'all, if you like these songs, you can stream them everywhere. Now, in the virtual realm, I don't have a sound check. So if y'all don't hear me good, put it in the comments. Let me know. We could take care of it. I'm my own sound person right here. We just adjusted. Don't worry about it. But let's have fun. It's a birthday party. It's a celebration. So let's just have some fun. All right. This first one is called Red Flags. And if you listen to my podcast, you'll know I make terrible decisions in dating. And this song is about that.
I know it won't be long before this goes wrong. Feelings aren't facts, it's true, but they bring me back to you. We're not on the same page, we're making a mistake, and for some reason I can't wait. We have the worst timing. Whenever I'm vulnerable, you come and find me. Then I'm back running circles again with you right behind me, knowing it isn't love. Let's play pretend anyway, as long as it lasts. So to the bottom of the glass, all those red flags waving, and still I caved in because time wasn't meant to be wasted. I know it's wrong, but I'm fading, and it feels amazing when you hold me so close. I can taste it, so close I can taste it. Now I'm ashamed to admit it. Love is not a game, but I still play with it. I'm out of my lane, I get it. A lot should have changed, would it come out different? What's comfortable, but still laying down up under you, boy. Feelings are facts, it's true. What brings me back to you? And still I caved in to be wasted. I know it's wrong, but I'm fading, and it feels amazing when you hold me so close. I can taste it, so close I can taste it. So grab your glass, let's toast. Here's to going ghost on strangers that we know. And still I caved in because time was to be wasted. And it feels amazing when you hold me so close. I can taste it, so close I can taste it.
Thank you. That is Red Flags. If you like it, again, my name's Alyson Cadena. You can find me. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and all kinds of stuff at Ally Chains. And there's the links to my podcast, including Songs for the Soul, which is part of Power Street Theater, which is why you should donate, because then we get to do all kind of cool stuff. So this next one I'm gonna leave with. It's called Gravity. I am a loud and proud Latina, and I heard this song by Sarah Bareilles, and I said, what if we made it super, super Spanish? Then I would like it even more. And so this is what I came up with, and I hope you enjoy.
Something always brings me back to you. It never takes too long. No matter what I say or do, I still feel you here till the moment I'm gone. El tiempo siempre me regresa aquí, por más lejos que esté. Aún me siento encadenada a ti, atada al recuerdo, te busco otra vez. Suéltame, libérame, no puedo luchar otro momento contra tu gravedad. Resistiré y quebraré como siempre. Regreso a donde yo debo estar, junto a ti, enredada en ti.
I hope y'all are dancing at home.
Oh, yeah. Hago el atrás y luzco fuerte al parecer, pero conoces mi fragilidad, tan solo me tocas y me vuelvo a caer. Suéltame, libérame, no puedo luchar otro momento contra tu gravedad. Resistiré y quebraré como siempre. Regreso a donde yo debo estar, junto a ti, enredada en ti. La vida se complica, me deja tan perdida, tan pronto el corazón grita por ti. Lo único que quiero es ahogarme en tus besos y no me queda más que rendirme a ti. Oh, necesito de ti. Suéltame, libérame, no puedo luchar otro momento contra tu gravedad. Resistiré y quebraré como siempre. Eso a donde yo debo estar, junto a ti, enredada en ti. Thank you, guys. That's my set. Shout out to Power Street.
Wow. I love that song so much.
Thank you.
My dream is to like finally get Jose to a place where he knows how to dance bachata like fully and confidently, and then like, you know, and then just dancing that song and like you're singing it live. Like that's my dream. Like that's my dream.
If you can get Jose to that place, I promise you, I give you my word that I will do. I will come to your living room and sing it personally if you can get him to that place.
Got it. All my dreams are coming true on this birthday of Power Street. You were getting so much love in the comments. People were saying your voice is so powerful, that people were dancing at home. So thank you so much for sharing your art with us tonight, your voice. And thank you for being willing to say yes to being part of Power Street and Solatry and offering your time from the inception when we were just trying to, Jose had a dream of bringing artists, especially musicians and vocal like singers and poets together during the pandemic. And that's how when we first met. And it's really cool to see where we are today. And how we've grown even in that time, because it's been a short time. I'm like 3 years since I've known you. But it feels like a lifetime too. It's weird how time works. So thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm gonna bring us back to the group if that's okay.
Sure. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Brava. That was awesome. Alyson, oh my God.
Showing the love. So we are now gonna move on to RK, but I love to bring the group back and hear your voices. So anytime when we come back, if you want to, give the snaps, give the claps, do all that, show your peeps some love, I'm here for it. RK.
We here.
We here.
Happy birthday, Power Street.
Yes, thank you. I can't believe it. 10 years. And so RK, we met also around the same time that I met Alyson. And I remember one of the things that I loved about you was like your willingness to want to be part of like supporting the cause and wanting to like be part of Solatry in a way that was really special. And like one of the things I love about artists, one of the things about that I think is unique with certain artists is when they take initiative and ways to create spaces for beyond themselves. And I think I remember you just being like, I have this idea for Sofa Soul and like just other ways to like continue the programming and engaging more people and creating a
Mhm.
platform for other artists like yourself. And that's so much of the heart of like Solatry and Power Street, is that like wanting to create spaces beyond our own art, but also while also amplifying our own work as artists, right? And so I just wanted to give you a shout out on that, because I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that about you outside of like your amazing writing.
Thank
And
you.
so yeah, tell us about how we can support you with your book, and then you'll share your work tonight.
Yes. So I got Shattered Beauty and the Lost, which is my baby, my first baby, and you can get her on Amazon. And
Okay.
yeah, and I'm actually going to read out of it. I think this is like probably like the second time I read a poem from the inside. So I'm very, very nervous right now, but I'm excited as well because there has been a lot of growth, and the growth that I have done was with Tree and now with you guys. And I'm ready for the transition. I'm ready for everything that you guys have going on because you guys do care outside of, yourselves. And you guys have always offered a platform for anybody and anybody. So I do want to give you guys just a big thanks before I get started.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. So this is a poem from Shattered Beauty and the Lost called I Am From. It's one of my most favorite poems because it explains the obvious, right? So let's get into it. Slow beats bursting through my cheap $5 headphones as salsa music vibrantly blessed the living room. Dancing through the uvia on our island, the Saturday tone, my chocolate toned grandmother with skin so soft, interior though made of steel. Celia Cruz in her ear, yo viviré, I will survive, do you hear? Levántate was just another word for get up. Pa'lante. We are moving forwards farther than around the block, small talks and everything ever not. Farther than a deli run, running on only cold cuts kind of run. Farther than the sopachina fixed one for breakfast, the egg popped inside was just a fun. Farther than parts below the cracks of survival, they shall protect, moving forwards, but of where you came from, never forget. Levántate only meant wake up, for reality isn't what you dreamt. The ability to overwork and never sleep is attacking themselves. The ability to go overboard, we go in deep, it's beginning to reflect ourselves. A product of the environment, something's done without thinking twice. Say what is meant, mean what you say it now. Arms created to cause a little bit of embarrassment, so I feared the now. I feared, proud, hands created for those who lacked articulation as I struggled with impulsively speaking with no oration. The cost of the tongue when I let it all slip. Traditional holding on to tradition as it shifts. The music reminded me of all that I came from, all what memories that still lived within me did. All words were never enough. Actions were always preferred. Levántate. Those who differentiate associations between an aggressor being an oppressor in their own homes may know it may not have come from the enlightenment, maybe from the cast of stones, taking cracks to the lip, shattering to the hip, ripping through all of life. Enlightenment coming from fighting our own oppressors in our own minds. In solitude, do not mind me. I came from trust none. I wish to be alone, to be proud as the clock goes by, wishing rest on my big comfy couch, overcoming the dark in search for the light, a life of doing when I came from the blind side. All of the pride kept within what I have learnt, for I have all the off the book context, on the book context, all pride kept in within what I've learned, for I knew nothing of my context, only anything close to home. I came from do, have without context, lost, mad without context, instead of placing all that I have felt in its home. I came from lack of accountability with all ability, oh, denying the pain, learning a shoulder can go cold. Slow beats bursting through my cheap $5 headphones, tucked away from all the outside noise. Pon atención, pay attention, for my knowledge has kept me safe all the while known. Hip to hip, The salsa hip, the bachata grips, the merengue sips, hip to hip. I let them sway. On a Saturday, we dance away. I would love to blow my own bubble, float away, leave doors closed as doors open anyways. Tough expectations on life having to be great, foreseeing your worst should be the next ticket on a happy train. Singing choo choo, going everywhere just with faith. For in my heart I am from, you can do it, you'll be great one day. Things I spoke into existence, voices that hid behind the pain. Levántate. If only you would understand what it takes to raise a village, when the village won't stay. We all find our own ways, no matter how far, no matter what noise it makes, yelling, so we never forget the way. Pon atención, levántate y pa'lante. Remember, it's just temporary complicated. Ooh. Remember, it's just temporary complications making you complacent towards motivations. You have learned patience. Patience for the ignorant who indulge in ignorance, who can judge and bring pain to a place so gracious. Only whoever, with no context, never truly understood where you came from. Ooh. Let me just get a breather in because I'm an emotional cat and we all know this. But I'm going to get to my second one. Let's just process that. Talking personally about my stuff, sometimes it gets me a little emotional. So, a little snaps. But we're going to move on to Stranded, which is also a poem that I had wrote a while ago that is in the book now. This is going to show Shattered. Boom. Stranded. Transparent baby blue curtains up in flames. Cloudy baby blue walls that complemented my tears. Morning. This toll has taken years. Choosing to live with sorrow, waking up in the middle of my room, surrounded by souls coerced into all that I am not into. No problem being centered. Over here is all alone, leaving the known and the unknown stranded, abandoned. Next time they call to come over, hang up the phone, because I am waking up in the middle of my room, departed, aware of such stillness placed on my body with such woefulness, lost in battle of insolence, kept in mind with such spitefulness when battling the opposite me. The side of me where there's no acceptance, a parasite indeed. Survival mode with no idea of no open doors. I woke up in the middle of my room, half dead, contemplating on whether I really loved myself enough to just find a sense of comfort in abandonment, waiting for swell company, a kiss always promised to me, a love guaranteed, the promised land just without the fee. Yet I wake up alone with my own company. You can find me at Instagram, Self Poet with two T's. My poetry page is Self Poetry with two T's. And you can find Shattered on Amazon just for you. And thank you guys so much. Happy birthday to Power Street. And I do want to express my grace. Thank you.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Oh my gosh. I love your work, Shattered. Yes, I know we have
Thank you.
your book here in the home. One of the one of the statements that stands out to me is like pon atención, like pay attention. Pa'lante, like such a
Yeah.
strong thing that we say, that I feel many Latinos say, to keep pushing forward. And one of the things I loved about that first poem was just like your language, the language you chose to bring to that poem, the Spanglish,
Yeah.
the New Yorker, and really giving us insight to who you are and where you come from, and like where you want to go. And like,
Yeah.
I thought that piece was just really, really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, y'all. Well, we moving on to the next up. We have Anjoli, and then we're gonna close the show off with Robi. So Anjoli.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm grateful to be here. Happy birthday, Power Street. All
Yeah,
about it. Reasons to
listen,
party.
Angie is literally like the OG, I think, on here for Power Street. Angie has been in many shows of Power Street. I've had the privilege to not only perform with Anjoli alongside her in Las Mujeres, but I've also had the great privilege of directing Angie, which has been something that I really miss doing. I really miss directing. And a part of that is that I get to work with incredible actors like Anjoli who make my world easier as a director because the willingness to tap into the imagination, the joy, the danger, all of it. You're always so willing to just jump into your imagination and be vulnerable. And you're definitely one of the strongest performers I know because of that superpower of you being able to tap your vulnerability in such a special way. And so I love obviously being with it's like I said, I'm hyping everybody up because I love you all so much as artists and as human beings. And so it has been a great honor to share space with you in so many ways, even with administration for a long time too. Anjali was a person that was help running campaigns last time we were doing them in 2019 and all of that, and has now we've kind of shifted our ways of how we function with Power Street, with really just trying to bring on admin to do admin and artists to do the artist work. But it's always still there, right? Like that feeling of a Power Streeter. I always refer to you as a Power Streeter still, and always will, because you are. And I thank you so much for being a part of our story, our journey, our impact. And so I'm excited for you to share some of your poetry tonight with us.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the beautiful introduction. I love Power Street. Power Street brought me back to life. So today I am going to be reading 2 original poems. These poems I wrote more than 10 years ago, but they've never been performed or shared with a public in any way, shape, or form. Thank you, Power Street, for providing the platform to do this. This first poem I'm dedicating to the strength of my abuelitas. It's called Wild Weeds. I am beauty. Sprays are created to destroy me. A thistle in the nook of perfection, lying in wait underground, tormenting and permeating the excellency of ornamental green. I, the invasive species, home in these grounds. Upon my seeds of snow, blow your wishes to heaven upon me. Spear my roots into mother ground. Keep my clay moist with the fatherhood of rain, mother and father. Color me clay, color me grass, color me the sweetness of child's play. This is my home, yet you name me weed? In me are the echoes of the once raging Colorado, the fierce grace of the grand Mississippi, the unflinching spirit of wilderness, the peaks of the Sierra, the flight of a pigeon and an eagle. HOME. This is the soil, the stone, the roots of the Americas, and far beyond, the echoes of humankind's rich color tones tilled into this land. The rich colors of my carpeted earth give rise to the beauty of human contrast. I, a wildflower, am beauty. I am the stubborn seed. For this you call me weed? But what is home without the grace of understanding? Bow your head to the color of the sun by your feet. See me, I'm dandelion. Call me weed, and I thee pity. Instead, name me wildflower and discover the resilient pioneer spirit of strength within me. Home in these grounds. Go ahead. I forgive you. Blow your wishes to heaven upon me. Thank you. And my next poem really opens up vulnerability. It's a piece I'm frankly taking a risk sharing. It scares me, but Power Street is the home to do risk. I dedicate this piece to everyone in my life who has been there, and you know who you are. So thank you. It's called Howl. Return to the beginning. The moon is asking for your howl, but you have forgotten your voice. Howl with pleasure, howl with pain. I slice open my skin, I milk my veins. Bright red, crimson tucked under sleeves. Close your eyes. Razor cuts bleed. I've forgotten all of my seeds. Guilt, despair, fear. My smiles grow colder, paralyzed, stuck, labeled, prescribed. Tear with my nails to reach my heart, to stop this life no longer fall apart. Shame, secret, sullen, silent howls of rage. Forgotten all other choice. Forgotten the sounds of my gladdened voice. Candle wick in the darkness. Years of forgiving. Return to the beginning. Unapologetic, wild woman. Howl over the slits of scars grown old. This is a story that's too much been told. Lonely in bed, covering your face, you have lost the wonder of yourself. She wolf wanders solo. Dry tears fall down your face. Life moves faster. You choose to fall out of pace. Pick up your pieces. These are seeds within you yet. Do not let yourself forget that sun and that breeze that put your spirit at ease. Pain weighs your heart, so you've forgotten where to start. Invisible in the path, no one will notice your suffering. Alone are we. How not to be lonely. Alone walking in the stars. Shoot your spirit into the galaxies. And howl to the brightness of the womb inside. Howl to the terror, do not stop to hide. Return to the beginning, and you'll find that all of nature and the mystery of this wonderful universe is always at your side. Thank you.
Wow. I tell you, that vulnerability is always there and present. Angie, thank you so much for a gift. That howling I could even just the depths of that, I can feel that. And such two different pieces, which always I love seeing, being able to see people's variety of whatever that means and looks like for them. And so thank you so much for that. And I also love how your writing is used like a metaphor in a lot of ways. Yeah. I love the first piece too, the weeds, like, oh God, the roots of America, the flight of a pigeon and eagle, like just different imagery and just duality and all of that in it. So beautiful. Thank you for that gift. I want to encourage people to take the time to like donate. If you're watching, if you're supporting these incredible artists and listening to them tonight, they are here on the strength of, they want you to support us. They want you to support Power Street. And they also like Angie said, I have never heard you perform these pieces before in the years that I've known you. And so it's really cool when we can gather in this way and we still continue to learn about each other. Like, right? Like I still get to like hear Arcade's poem in a new way, or from reading it, right? I get to like hear Alyson's song in a new way from like hearing it on Spotify, right? Like there's always just like these new experiences that happen when we gather. And so I thank you all for being here tonight. And shout out to Power Street, $10,000 in 10 days for 10 years. Chacho. Apúrate, levántate, give us that money. And I will say this. The last time we raised $10,000 was in 2019, pre-pandemic. We have not asked for no money since because we knew that there were other things that were more important. That's how we felt. And we wanted to prioritize people putting their money into other spaces where it was really needed, even though we could have used that money. But this is a time that we're calling on collective action to support art for social change in Philadelphia and beyond. So make that donation, and no donation's too small, y'all. Like our last campaign, we had people donating $5. We had people donating $100, $1,000. The variety ranged, but it was about like the act of giving and the act of saying, I believe in you. And that action is not measured by a donation amount. It's just that the act to make a donation is what can get us, what will get us to our goal, right? And so I'm hoping I'm gonna just check real quick where we at. We have a total right now on our first day of $765 raised. Okay. So my goal was $1,000 to raise by today, at least minimum. So I still got like 4 hours before it hits midnight. So if I DM you, if I text you, if I call you, if I reshare this thing, don't be mad at me, but I'm gonna annoy you because that's my job. My job is to advocate for art. My job is to make sure equity is valued, and I can't do that alone. I need the power of the people to help me do that. So you'll see a lot of my face, and then I'll hide under the covers again and go ghost for a little bit. But not really. I'm always working out. I promise. I really am. But you will see a lot of me because I believe in Power Street, and I believe in Solartree, and I believe in all the artists. And I want us to do more in this coming year, and your support will get us there. So enough about the campaign for a second, because I want to go now to our final featured artist, Robi, who I have had the privilege of really being able to build a deeper relationship with. I think there has always been a crush. I think for most people that have experienced Robi's work, you have to have a crush on him because he's so freaking amazing. Why wouldn't you have an admiration crush on Robi?
Oh, thank you, Gabi.
Then it's like you meet Robi and you go, gosh, you're making it even more easy to love you because you're such an amazing and incredible person, and also just someone that holds a lot of leadership and talent outside of just even the art, but like the strategy behind the art. How do you promote your art? How do you like how does art reach people? How do you engage the local business owner, right? Like Robbie is so talented in so many multifaceted ways, but it's all at the intersection of his own art. And so that's something that I really admire about you, because I've seen you do your own campaign initiatives for your musical and fundraising and being boots on the ground as an artist. And that's something I really respect and know how hard and how much dedication it takes to do that work. And so I just want to give you a shout out because I see you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm thankful that we are in each other's circles, and I'm thankful that you are part of Power Street's 10-year celebration.
Yes. Gabi, I have to say the same about you though. Like what you create, what you've done with Power Street and your leadership is like incredibly infectious. And I so admire that too. You do so much work, and it's just amazing to see what you're creating. So I mean, because of you, we're getting this musical produced. So this is amazing. So thank you for that.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Siluetas coming 2024, y'all. Stay
happening.
tuned. And go follow Siluetas Instagram page. We'll make sure that we will put the handle on this thread.
Yeah, Erlina will probably put it on the comments. I know her.
Awesome. Well, take it away, Robbie.
So I'm gonna sing a song from our musical that I'm writing with Erlina Ortiz, Siluetas, and it's a song that happens in Act 2. And I'll tell you a little bit about what the musical is about. It's about really finding home, finding what home means to you, your identity within that, and it's in a way sort of like your chosen family, because depending on how far you are from home. And we follow Dinora, who was sent at a very young age to the U.S. from Cuba, and married and had unfortunately a miscarriage, and had to, because of the abusive relationship she had with her husband, she leaves and starts anew in Philadelphia, North Philly to be exact, and moves in with a study abroad student from Syria, Khalila, and both of them could not be more opposite. So they move in together and kind of find what home means to each other, their relationship. They build a very strong relationship and friendship. And one of the characters that sings this song, Ian, he is sort of our love interest with Khalila. And at this point, Ian is unsure of what to do next. He's a very people pleaser person and says yes to everything. And it's like, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. And then apologizes for everything, like for very little things that he doesn't need to apologize for. But in this case, he's struggling whether he should convert to Islam or not. And he feels like he's going to let Khalila down. So this is the moment where he takes that step for himself and says, I have to protect myself if I want to love another person. So this song is called These Days. And here we go. Funny how life takes you down a road you've never seen before, waiting on a countdown, living in the in-between of you and the door. And I wait for a sign, for my own storyline to be mine, to be mine. I don't want to let you down. I know I wasn't real before. You deserve my whole truth. If I didn't love you, I'd go along and say sure. But I can't lie. Going with the wind is fine. Not this time, not this time. But now you want me to change. I don't want to change. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But then I remember the very first time that I laid eyes on you. You made my dreams come true with just one look. The touch of your hand and the feeling that I'll never be alone again. You are my light, you are my everything, and still I gotta say I'm sorry and I'm sorry, but I can't be who you want me to be. I'm sorry and I'm sorry, seems to be the only word I know these days. These days. Funny how life takes you down a road you didn't see before. My history's a ghost town. If I can't look back now, I got no choice. I must go forward. And I'm sorry, no, I'm not sorry. I wish you could accept me for me. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Gotta find a new way to be these days. Thank you.
Okay, I see you. You not sorry?
I'm not sorry anymore. No,
You're not sorry.
funny 'cause
Listen,
character. I relate to a lot of characters in Siluetas.
Siluetas is so good.
So many. Like definitely with Ian, it's taught me to be like, don't apologize for things you don't have to apologize. That should not be ever the case. You have to just say what you be you, say what you need to say, and just respect people, but just don't apologize all the time. It's a very weird tick that I used to have.
Yeah. I want to just ask real briefly before we skip out of here because it is 8 o'clock and I want to honor everyone's time. But I did have a question in relation to a lyricist / composer. Can you just? I don't want to assume that everyone knows what that means in relation to a musical. So can you tell us what that means? Your role.
Yeah. In terms of the lyricist, that is basically all the words that you hear in the music and the songs. So Erlina and I are sharing that because she'll send me some stuff. I'm like, here, I think we want these lyrics here. Then I'll put some of my input. Then we'll kind of come together with that. But in a musical, you usually have a book writer. And in our musical, it's Erlina. Then a lyricist, which is Erlina and myself. And then the composer who writes all the music, anything that's melodic, anything that's chords or orchestrations, any of that stuff is me in this musical. But yeah, musicals usually have those three. Sometimes there's like operetta musical-ish things. It's like music and lyrics mostly. But yeah, usually you have three categories when you write a musical.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So I hope that you are all excited for what's to happen. We wanted to end the night with what Power Street is looking forward to, right? And in the next year, right? And that is our musical opening in 2024 at Temple University. More soon, y'all. So help us reach our goal. We have 10 days to raise $10,000 for 10 years of our existence. That's pretty much $1,000 a day. We can raise $1,000 a day. Yeah. But you know what? What I know to be true is sometimes, like our people like to come late to the party. You throw a party and people don't get there till an hour or two later. So that's the way I strategize around crowdfunding. Is that there is urgency, which is why there's only 10 days. We're not making this a month campaign. We want to create urgency for the sake of we have 10 days to put all of our efforts of reaching out, of annoying y'all with why this mission matters, why your dollar matters, and how it will go a long way. And so 10 days, $10,000 for 10 years. You would think I have it memorized by now,
It's great. It's great.
I hope you appreciate my two buns and my hoops. You'll see more of me. I am Gabi Sanchez. I want to give a shout out to my comrade, Erlina Ortiz, who's been sharing and posting and enjoying from home with her loved ones.
Have you seen this?
Thank you, bestie. I love you for being part of this vision, a part of this history. This Power Street would not be possible without you. So I got to give you the love that you deserve. Let's do it. Yes. And also shout out to Jose Alicia, who's running the behind the scenes right now and who has made this possible. He's the one that reached out to all the artists. He's the one that had the idea of saying, yeah, you know what, we're doing a campaign, but we should actually have a time to amplify the artists. And he made this happen. So shout out to Jose right now, who put our daughter to sleep, fed our daughter while I jumped on this thing and still was able to do a sound check with Robi. All the behind the scenes that people don't see, but we're also raising funds for like general operating for the folks who make this work possible, right? And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Asaki, who was also on the live showing love.
Gabi,
yes.
Gabi, we made it to 1K. Well, Power Street made it to 1K.
Yeah.
Hold on, what? Hold on. Let me refresh this, John, because I need to see. Oh. Okay. Let me hold on, because you said we made it to 1K, but we actually currently let me refresh this one more time because I'm seeing $1,105. So that actually we made over our goal for today. So yes, we met our goal for the day, but guess what? We back at it tomorrow. We back at it the next day. We got 10 days and we're gonna be hustling because why art matters. And we started off today's gathering of talking about why art matters because that is the root of why we're here today. Right. And I wish, this is my biggest birthday wish, y'all. And then the night ends and we're going to say our goodbyes. I wish that the future, which the future should be us right now in this moment. I wish that this could be the future that I lived in, not my child's future, but mine, is that I wouldn't have to advocate for why art matters so much, that it would just be a norm and that we would get the funding, the health benefits, the care, the value that we deserve. That is what my wish. It's beyond Power Street. It's about how we value the power of the arts and that it is just innate and that it's not even up for discussion. And so that is my wish. I'm going to keep dreaming that, pushing that into the universe. And I thank all of you for making tonight special and the fact that we made our, $1,000 so far. So help us reach $9,000 more to go. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great and fabulous night. Thank you so much.